Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking with brother AJ Jamal, all the way from Cleveland. He's living out there on the western side of this country, but he's been doing comedy for a long time. So I'd like to welcome to Open Door, Mr. AJ Jamal. Brother AJ, how are you today?
Man, I am excellent. Life is amazing. Life is beautiful. And let me get this straight first. I have been doing comedy longer than you. I actually, Vince, you don't even know this. I performed at the first supper. And the last supper, I was actually booked in Vegas. That's how long I've been doing it.
Wow.
I went to school. I went to junior high school with Jesus. No, I'm just... I'm old, Vince. You know I'm old.
Yeah.
Vince is my little brother. That's how old I am. Vince is my little brother.
Well,
how you been doing, man? I'm happy to be on.
I'm doing well, man, and I'm just reflecting back to a day when we were both students at Kent State University. And people don't know this, man. You were at Kent State. Steve Harvey was at Kent State.
Right.
Drew Carey was at Kent State.
Ronaldo Ray.
I mean...
And don't forget Arsenio Hall.
And Arsenio was there at the same time. And there's some stories about Arsenio that we're not going to tell today.
You know, it's so funny when you said that, Vince. The first thing that popped in my mind was the stories. And I'm glad you said that because I was about to let one go.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, we do have time.
I got a good one to say about him.
Okay.
I was with him when he was about to go because he was a television communications major too, weren't you, Vince?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you because I was the telecom major, and so Arsenio, and they stayed right across the street from the building in Dunbar, and so they were like, Arsenio was like, man, I'm thinking I'm leaving campus, and we were like, what you gonna do, man? He said, man, I'm gonna become a comedian. We both said at the same time, you ain't funny, and I didn't mean to say it like that, but it was just we didn't know him as a comedian. We knew he had two magic tricks and one joke, and we didn't think you should leave the campus with two magic tricks and one joke. But he left it, and he became huge. He had the Arsenio, and that's. Do you understand? When I went to L.A., the first thing I did was I Googled who was managing Arsenio. I looked it up, and the guy named was Roy Gerber. He's the one that got Arsenio hot and started. So I said, let me go up. He was on Sunset. I said, let me jump in my car and go up there and get squeezed into this business because I'm out in Hollywood now. I go into Roy Gerber office, and I knocked on the door, and they opened the door. They said, hey. And I said, I'm a comedian. You managed a good friend of mine named Arsenio Hall. And you know what he said? We don't like Arsenio Hall. And then I go, well, he really not that good of a friend. We just know each other. We went to school together. And when he said that, he goes, so you think you're funny? I go, I'm very funny. He picks, and this is how the Jews work in Hollywood. He picks up a phone and calls this dude named Shelly Berger. He picks up the phone and goes, Shelly, I got a comedian. Put him on a show this weekend. And he goes, what's his name? He goes, AJ Jamal. And then I can hear him go, he said, what kind of name is that? He said, it's Jewish. Put him on the show. And then he hung up. And then when he hung up, he says to me, you're on the show with the Temptations this week at the amphitheater. I said, what? I mean, and in my mind, I'm thinking, that's how it rolls? He picked up the phone. Next thing you know, he never even seen me perform. He put me on a show, 3,000-seater at the amphitheater in L.A. And so I get out there, and I'm killing them on stage, right? I'm doing it because I'm clean. I'm killing them. And when I get off stage, Roy Gerber looked at me and said, you are pretty funny, huh? I'll sign you. And that's how I got into the bit. That's how I got into the business. With a person who didn't like Arsenio.
Wow.
I love Arsenio. Arsenio's still my boy. I reached out to him when he redid his new show. He should have put me on as a writer. I reached out to him, but Arsenio, he's doing the clubs now, and I still love him like a brother.
Okay, so I just want to replay something in my mind. There was an episode of Martin where Martin goes out to L.A. to be on Arsenio's show, and he ends up in the audience. And he clowned his way onto the stage, and I was kind of thinking about the fact that should have been you on Arsenio's show. Did you ever do his show?
Oh, Arsenio's show?
Yeah.
Please, man, I did Arsenio's show 3 times. There's a show. Let me tell you what happened. Just like what you just said with Martin, we had our own. If you, I'm gonna have. I wish I could send you the tape. But Arsenio, yeah, I've done the show.
Okay.
But Arsenio said to me, AJ, I want you to come on and do this rapper. His name is MC Hate. And I go, okay, cool, because I'd done the show. And so I come on the show, I swear, I come on the show, MC Hate and the Real Deal Crime. And the way and the Real Deal Tribe. That's what he called it. MC Hate and the Real Deal Tribe. That was the name of the character. So the next thing you know, Arsenio, he's playing it straight. He says, we have a gentleman that's going to perform right now. He's his Gil Scott Heron is one of his idol, Miles Davis, and he said something crazy, right? And so he said, ladies and gentlemen, he just wants his first time ever on the show, first time ever on TV. MC Hate and the Real Deal Tribe. I come running out, shirt up, no shirt on, jean jacket, my sunglasses. I had a big, like one of the first cell phones you could ever have. It was about 4 feet big, right. And I had a cell phone, and I started rapping. I never went to school. I forgot the rap, but I never. But the song was MF. I never went to school. My mother's on a job. My mother's on crack. And then I said, I forgot how I went, but I went off and I was cussing and everything. The next thing you know, Arsenio has the police chasing me. And I go through the hall. He didn't even know I was going to break for the audience. I broke and ran up into the audience. The police runs through the audience. And I was like, MF, leave me alone. I'm in the union. And then they grabbed me and they carried me out. And then Arsenio go to the camera straight face and go, oh, my God. He said, that won't be aired. And do you know, afterwards, I had so many people. I went to the set when I went back. We were doing Fox in Living Color. So when I went out back on the set, SW1 and David Allen Grill was like, AJ, was that you on TV last night? I go, no, why would you say that? He said, man, the dude looked just like you. My brother called me. Dan go, man, we saw you on TV. And my mom go, baby, there was a dude on TV like you, looked just like you, but he was cussing. I told Dan that wasn't you. And Dan started laughing. He go, was that you? I go, no, man, that wasn't me. To this day, I never fessed up to it. But Sean Wayans, the one who was the DJ, he goes, I know that was you. He said, I'm going to keep it a secret, but that was you. Vince, I never fessed up to me doing that. But Arsenio I've done Arsenio a couple of times. Okay.
But did Arsenio ask you to do that, or is it just something that happened?
No, he asked me to do it. We had it all set up.
Okay.
Just like the Martin thing was probably set up.
Okay.
Arsenio came to me and said, we got this character. We want you to do it. And the reason they said they won't believe you because nobody knows you curse. Nobody believes you curse, right?
Right.
And so then he said, I said, okay. And then he told me, I said, Emma, read. I forgot the line, man. But that was my Arsenio story.
Okay. So you mentioned In Living Color, and I'm on YouTube every once in a while, and I see some of the old shows. What was that experience like for you?
It was actually, and I tell you why it was hard for me, because and it was sort of funny. David Allen Greer is hilarious. I came on. They had most people may not know the story, but Keenan Wayans, who created In Living Colors, he was the creator. They started running In Living Colors on a Thursday night. It was only coming on Sunday. Then they started running reruns after 2 years on Thursday. And in Hollywood, you can't run a rerun until after 100 episodes or 4 years. So now the next thing you know, they are actually, Keenan goes to them and go, why are y'all running reruns? And we're not getting paid for that because the show was so hot. And they said, well, it's okay. And they said, Keenan said it's not okay. So Keenan was taking them to court. He was going to sue them for doing these reruns when they shouldn't have been doing them. And so they said, why don't we just pay him and, we can do what we want to do. So they actually offered him something like $12 million. And back in the day, 90-something, that was a lot of money. Keenan took the money, right? Next thing you know, they're looking for a replacement. So they did a huge talent search across the whole country, talent search. So when they got to the talent search in L.A., it was at the place called the Laugh Factory. So I said, I'm going to go do this talent search for In Living Color. So I went to do it, crushed. I crushed him. Jamie Foxx was there. I crushed him. And so the next thing you know, one of the producers, this girl who was a producer on the show, she said, I think that guy, the white guy, was probably the strongest comedian. And Jamie was like, no, that's not true. Jamie was like, AJ Jamal was the best on the show. And they found out later the white girl boyfriend was the other comedian. She was trying to do nepotism and bring him in. But Jamie fought. And Jamie was like, no, we ain't going to do it like that. And Jamie was like, he took up for me. And Jamie's a nice dude, man. So if it wasn't for Jamie Foxx, I would have never got on the show. So Jamie took up for him, and they ended up putting me on the show. And what made it hard when I came in, everybody was looking at me like, you replacing Keenan, and it ain't the same around here. And the next thing you know, Damon, he left the week I came. So now the funny dude, Damon, Homie the Clown, Men on Films, all of that, he decides he wants to leave. He asked them once they got rid of Keenan, he said, $7,500. If y'all want me to stay here, I need $7,500 a skit. So if he did 2 skits, he's making whatever $75,000, $15,000 just for 2 skits. So they paid him at first, but by the time I got there, he left. And then another one of the family members, Kim, who's a beautiful sister. Kim was, caught sleeping in one of our scenes. Then the next thing you know, so I'm saying, wow, how many Wayners is on here? And come to the realization, it was 11 of them.
Wow.
And yeah, 11 Wayners, and all of them were talented. And they lost, and so when Keenan, SW1 was the only one there, and they had one of the brothers who used to be an extra, they call it. So the show was, I love the money. I was making big paper. I still get 99 every episode. I get $99 an episode. But I love the fact that I was there, and I left there. It propelled me to go get my own show on Comedy Central. But what was cool about it, In Living Colors was a groundbreaking thing for a lot of people. Jamie Foxx, getting Oscars.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. How about J-Lo?
Oh,
I used to follow her.
Yeah.
I used to follow her around every day. She used to have a little boyfriend in her butt. She was really thick then. When I say thick, she was thick.
Yeah.
So that was my In Living Color experience.
Wow. You're listening to Open Door Cleveland. Our guest is A.J. Jamal. He is a comedian from Cleveland, Ohio. Believe he went to Collinwood High School, went to Kent State University, ended up at IBM, and we're going to tell some stories about what happened after you left IBM. But we're going to take this real quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to 95.9 FM WOVU, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station. Back after this.
What can you do in the battle against COVID-19? Your first task, wear a mask, protect yourself and others. Armor up, armor up. Give those hands a 20-second shower with soap and water. Armor up, armor up. Give others space 6 feet just in case. Armor up, armor up. Get good nutrition, ingest for digestion. Armor up, armor up. Vitamin C, D3, and more. Armor up, armor up. Elderberries, zinc, and echinacea from the store. Armor up, armor up. Get some fresh air. Go climb some stairs. Armor up, armor up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is DJ Fatty Banks.
Dr. Vinaya K. Jones.
Alicia Graves.
Jordan Lucius.
This is Miss V on your radio, and you're listening to the best community radio station in the land. WOVU, Our Voices United, 959 FM.
We're back with comedian A.J. Jamal. You're out in Las Vegas now?
I got a place in L.A. and a place in Vegas. Well, Rancho Cucamonga, a little tiny place.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a bigger place in Vegas, so you can do that.
Okay.
You can get you a one bed for about half a meal, and then you come to Vegas and get 15 houses for $300,000. So
okay.
I'm in Vegas. A lot of people come here, man. You know why? You don't have to pay the state tax.
There you go. There you go. You can save a little coin and you lose it in the casinos.
And that's it. You know who lived behind me? Money Mayweather lived right behind me. I've seen him jog, and I've seen his Bentley. Money Mayweather lived right behind me. So that's how sleek my area is. And I always tell people, he's in a gated community, and I'm in a community with gates. That's the difference.
Right. Yeah.
There is a gate in my house.
Okay.
If you go through my gate, you're going to be right near the garbage. That's the way my house is.
So let's go back to a time when you hadn't really made the full break to comedy. You were working at IBM. As a matter of fact, I remember you were working on ATM machines back then. And you and I and Steve Harvey used to meet at the old arcade, and we had a spot. We had a spot, and we used to watch the traffic go by.
Right.
And our brother Marafu had the fruit stand down on the first floor.
That's right.
Yeah. So back during that time, Steve Harvey had a carpet cleaning business.
No. Let's get that straight.
Okay.
Steven said it on Oprah. This is the whole deal. That's funny. The reason I'm laughing is because we used to sit at that arcade on a lunch break that was ridiculously long.
Mm-hmm.
So a lunch break is normally supposed to be 45 an hour. We would be there for 2.5 hours.
Right.
So at this point, Steve was working at Lincoln Electric up on Euclid, and I lived up off of the Euclid, a street called Burgess, by the animal clinic. Everybody know the animal clinic. So I stayed on Burgess. So one night, Steve come in. You know, Steve and I was running. And Steve told the joke. He, like I said, he did it on the Oprah show. He told it. And so Steve called me one night and go, AJ, someone just dropped dead in the factory, and they just swept them off and told us to keep working. I can't deal with this. And I go, Steve, why don't you quit that job? He goes, man, I just can't quit the job. What am I going to do? I say, man, just come on down to the house. I was only like not even a mile from where he worked. I said, come on down to the house. We'll find something to do. He said, are you serious? I said, Steve, quit that job. And he actually said, I tell you what, I ain't going to quit. I mean, not tonight, but when I leave tonight, I'm not coming back. I said, cool. So he left Lincoln Electric, and he came over to my house. So he said, what we going to do? I said, oh, man, let's get a carpet cleaning company. So he said, carpet cleaner? I said, yeah. I went in, was it Craigslist or what? Yeah, it was Craigslist, I think, back in the day, or whatever that thing was. And I looked for some carpet equipment. So I spent, you know what's so funny? I texted Steve 2 months ago and said, you still owe me $300. Because I did. I said, I want my $300. And I ain't going to tell you how his reply. But at any rate, I put up $600, got the carpet cleaning company, and we were tearing up people's houses. I didn't know when you shampoo somebody's carpet, it's supposed to suck it up and dry it. But my machine didn't do that. So the carpet would be soaking wet. And when Steve would go, open up the windows, it'll dry. I go, I think it's supposed to be something. We got to get the water out the carpet. He said, no, let's just go. And we started wrecking up people's houses. The next thing I know, I said, Steve, man, this carpet cleaning company is too much for me. He said, what you going to do? I said, you can have the company. I said, what? I said, take the company. He said, well, what you going to do? I said, man, I'm at IBM. I'm going to start doing comedy. He said, comedy? I go, yeah, I'm going to do comedy. And that's how I started. I started doing comedy, and Steve took over the whole carpet cleaning business. And he worked it for a minute. He was doing very good. He got some accounts, and he was doing very good. And I just started doing comedy. My first night was downtown Cleveland. It's called the Cleveland Comedy Club. And you know who I sat back there with on my first night on stage? The winner would get $50. I sat back there with Drew Carey, and I'm sitting next to Drew, and I'm saying, it's your first time, because it was open mic night. I said, it's your first time on stage? He goes, yeah. I said, I like that character you got. And he goes, what character? And that's when I realized, it's not a character. He was really a crew cut, thin, untied, white shirt. And he said, what character? When he said, I go, that's not a character. And I went up on stage, and I did my beginner's joke. I actually won. And so my claim to fame is I beat Drew Carey out for the first open mic contest at the Comedy Club. I made $50. Now Drew is worth probably $200 million, $300 million, and I'm working cruise ships. So that's the moral of that story.
Wow. Now here's another 1 degree of separation. I don't know how it happened, and maybe you had something to do with it, but I get a call from Drew Carey. Drew Carey needs a publicity photograph taken, and I got hired to do the job. And his signature was those black-rimmed glasses. So
exactly.
I took a picture of him with those glasses on from the nose up.
You know what's so deep? You say that, Ben. I remember that picture. You took that picture?
I took that picture.
He used to use that picture. That was his signature picture when he first started doing comedy.
Wow.
That is so funny. I never knew you. No, I didn't set that up. I don't know how he actually called you. I don't know if he met. I don't know if he met us together and knew you were a photographer, but I never connected the dot. He may have been, because we may have been running. Oh, Vince, maybe it was the arcade we were sitting there chilling.
I don't know. But I have to celebrate another call that I got from you, because you called me and you said, hey, I'm about to do this show in the Caribbean, and the director says he needs a photographer. So you still taking pictures? I said, yeah. So I got the call. He said, yeah, I just need a photographer to take photos of the comics and the locations. Do you shoot slides? And I'm like, sure, I shoot slides. So long story short, and I owe you for that airplane ticket, man, because you flew me down to Miami, Because, you know,
Wow.
I didn't have any money, man. I couldn't
Right.
afford a flight, but you hooked me up. I flew down there, and the rest of it is history. As a matter of fact, a few months ago, I posted a picture of me, you, and Steve Harvey at Sandals Resort, Ocho Rios, when we were playing
Wait a
pitch
minute.
and putt golf.
Well, you were the third person. I was trying to figure out because we were in the pool, we played golf.
Yep.
I was trying to fit Vince.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who was the third person. I kept going, AJ, there was three of y'all hanging out. And I thought maybe the other one was a comedian. But you are right. The name of the show was Comedy in the Caribbean.
Yep.
And that was Bud Freeman, who owned the Improv.
Mm-hmm.
He did a spinoff and called it Comedy in the Caribbean. And he asked me to get some people. You know what? I totally forgot I brought you in on that.
Man.
I totally, because Steve came down to Ultra Riz, and we were in the pool, and we were doing everything together, having fun.
Yeah. We didn't
That
swim.
was you.
We didn't swim across the pool. We had a bounding competition. We were taking great big strides across
Right.
the floor.
That's exactly what we were doing. I can't, but you know what's so funny, Ben? I can't believe you remember that.
How could I forget? That
Man,
was
because you done took so many people picture, man. You done done so much stuff. That is so funny. You were working for Bud Freeman. Okay, I'm gonna send you a text. Just I send Steve. Where's my money for my plane ticket? You know what's funny? What was that? My somebody told me one time they pay me. Somebody said my sister's husband said she knew I was a good dude because he didn't want me to tell my sister, but he needed some money to do something.
Mhm.
He needed $150, and he said I gave him I don't even remember. I gave him $150, and when he went to pay me, and he paid me back $150, and he said not only did I send him the check back, but I sent him $200 back. And the reason I sent him and he said he could not believe he sent me a check for $150, and I sent him back a check for $200, and he couldn't understand. I said, you know what? I never was even expecting it to get back. Most people I just give loan money to, and I just do it out of my heart. And then he said that was so deep when he realized the type of person I was. He said he said he couldn't believe I sent him some more money. I said, no, man, must have been the years I was working at the Living Color because I had money.
Yes.
I never would do that now.
Yes.
Wow, Vince, you were the third person in Ultra Riz when we were in the pool and playing putt-putt.
Mm-hmm. And then we had the jam session at the piano, and I was playing the piano when you were doing the rap thing, and then I did the rap thing, and then the guy that was the director of photography, he captured it all on video, and we stayed connected for a couple years after that. I never heard from him again, but that was magical, man. I mean, we spent
It was magical.
a week, damn near a week in Jamaica. My first time in Jamaica, my first time going on a cruise. I chopped it up with Drew Carey. He came and I visited him in his room, and all the other people. Ralph Harris was on that show. I mean,
he was on it. You got a good memory, man. All I remember is called Comedy in the Caribbean. And I was the host.
4 episodes, 2 shows at Montego Bay, 2 shows at Ocho Rios, and and then there were the Jamaicans, man. I mean, I have to send that picture or tag you in it again, but there were 2 beautiful sisters that were with us at the time, and we had that joke about ting, the drink ting that they would drink.
Ting!
Yeah.
I remember. You can drink this ting. It was like supposed to be like a lemon or some kind of drink.
Lemon lime, like Sprite.
Lemon lime. I tell you, it was a lemon lime drink. Ting. I remember that.
Yeah. Yes, that was
And
phenomenal.
wow. So wait a minute. Let me think. That was Comedy in the Caribbean. Oh, I had another thought. It wasn't. Oh, wow. That I'm getting old, man. That thought, but it was something related to that Comedy in the Caribbean thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Man, that goes back.
Okay. So we're going to flash back to another trip that I took that put me in Los Angeles and on the A.J. Jamal comedy train with stops at the Laugh Factory, and there's another comedy club on Sunset Boulevard.
Comedy Store.
The Comedy Store. We stopped
the
there.
With Missy Shore.
Yeah. And we met Tommy Davidson at the grocery store. We went to that one house where that one apartment building where Sinbad was. Some magical things happen. We want to talk about that when we come back. The time is just flying as it always does when we do this show. But I'm just happy to be having this conversation with you right now. And I got some virtual TV stuff that we can do online because I'm on StreamYard now. So we about to blow things up. You're listening to Open Door on 95.9 FM WOVU with our special guest, AJ Jamal. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Empower Clee, bridging the digital divide, providing reliable internet access to the greater Cleveland community.
Hey girl, what you doing?
Just trying to figure out what's going to happen with these kids in school.
What do you mean?
I don't got no internet at home for them or for work. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Girl, go to Empower Clee.
And what is that?
Empower Clee. They're right here in Cleveland. They offer high-speed internet.
Girl, are you serious? Because I need it right now.
Yes, and it gets better. My cousin just called them. She doesn't even have to pay a dime.
How can I reach them?
You can visit their website at www.empowercle.org or give them a call at 216-777-3859.
What's the number again?
216-777-3859.
Thanks, I'm going to call them right now.
Remember, call 216-777-3859. That's 216-777-3859. And ask about free internet service for your high school student. On behalf of WOVU 95.9 FM, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station, we extend a special thanks to Empower Clee for their support.
Open Door Cleveland looks at the lives of people here and abroad, navigating the realms of art, culture, and society. I'm Vince Robinson. Tune in for inspired conversation with an array of guests and subject matter experts right here on 95.9 FM WOVU, Monday mornings at 11. Stream us live at WOVU.org or enjoy us live by purchasing the WOVU app from your favorite app store. Open Door Cleveland, Monday mornings at 11 on 95.9 FM WOVU, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
When you're in my car, we're listening to WOVU 95.9 FM.
How's everybody doing? What's happening? Doing a lot of traveling, man. Went home to see my mom, dad. Like hanging out with my mom. My mom is so cool. How many people's mother was like this? Be honest. My mother made us think the Jehovah's Witness was a gang. We thought they had guns. They ring the doorbell. Get down, get down. Everybody in the kitchen. Don't close that door. Come here. Mama, somebody on the porch. Just get down. They peeking through the curtains. Yeah, I go back home, man. I like New York, though. Eat a lot of food up here. Y'all got different food. I had some Chinese food the other day. That's good food, because they'll make anything for you, don't they? You got some shrimp fried rice? Egg foo young? Yeah, we got egg foo young. Some bacon and cornbread? We can make for you. We can make. How about some barbecue cornflakes? Wait one moment. Yeah, we got barbecue cornflakes.
I cannot believe, for the life of me, I would sit there and think about that and go, who was the third person I was hanging out with? Was it a comedian?
Yeah, it wasn't
like
a comedian.
You said, I remember us being in the pool. We wasn't swimming, but we was running across. And I was like, that was you.
Yep. Yes.
See, now I'm going to keep that memory in my head. I'm going to remember this. Wow.
Yes. We're back on WOVU Open Door with Vince Robinson and our special guest, AJ Jamal. So somehow, I don't know how it happened, but I ended up in LA again. And I think I stayed at your place, and I can't remember how long I was there, but I just remember it was an adventure. So I had never gone to the Comedy Store.
Right.
You know, I remember meeting your brother Sinbad. And how is he, by the way? Have you heard anything about him since he had a stroke?
What's interesting? That's what I wanted to mention. Yeah, when they released the stroke, and he didn't want people to know, but he had it like 3 weeks before they even mentioned it. And I talked to Mark. When I didn't talk to him, I text Mark and I said, because Mark is his brother, Mark Atkins, and he was our manager. And whenever Sinbad did something, he would bring me along. Whatever he had a show, he put me on it. I mean, he did the thing in New Orleans. People don't remember I did a set there. I was a character there, and so I have mad love for him. So I didn't even want to go out texting him and see how he was doing. So what I did was I texted Mark, and I said, I know you're busy and inundated with text. So I was just worried about my brother, and I just wanted to see how he was doing. Now I don't want to put no kind of energies out there, but from what I heard, he's trying to get back, man. He's trying to get back. So
yeah.
If I had knew what hospital he was in, I'd have rolled up there to see him, because that's how much mad love I got for Sinbad.
Yeah.
And it's just deep. We don't know, man. That's why we have to value every day. Man, you can't replace health. Health is, please, man. You got money, you can buy doctors. But if you got somebody tell you ain't got no time to live, you can't buy that. You can't buy health. So that's my thought pattern.
Well, I remember back in the day you were vegetarian of some sort or another. I know that.
Come on, man. I was a vegan. Don't call me a vegetarian.
Okay.
I was a vegan.
All right.
You were a vegan.
Yeah, I was a vegan, and I went pescatarian in 1987 after I went to Japan, and I call myself, in the bodybuilding and fitness training and, thinking I need all this extra protein. So I started eating fish. But 4 or 5 years ago, I gave up the fish and now I'm vegan. So I'm back.
You're back to vegan.
Yeah, I'm back to vegan.
Okay.
But I know that it was something that you would take seriously because, we'd be hanging out in the clubs and you'd be sipping on cranberry juice.
Right. I never tasted alcohol in my life, man.
Yeah. Well, it's
never
probably a good thing. But I wanted to talk about your trajectory, because, Steve went where he went, Drew went where he went. You've done a few movies, you did the show on Comedy Central, you hosted Showtime at the Apollo. You've done a lot in your professional life and you've been able to perform on stages all over the world, literally. How are you feeling about your career path? Has it been fulfilling for you as a comic?
It's been more than fulfilling. And you know what? Someone I read the dude. I think his name is Tony. Who was the billionaire that just passed away in the fire? What was his name? I'm surprised I don't know his name. But he made a statement I thought was so deep and so close to me. He was like, "You're a successful person when you can lose everything and still be okay, You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you can lose everything and still be okay. And I took that to heart. I was like, that dude is right. I'm at a position in my life, if you took everything from me, I'm still happy and I'm still successful. Now, the thing was, this is what people don't know. And I've had people come up to me and say, man, you got Steve started in comedy. How come you do this and that? And I said, and the way I look at it, I said, maybe Steve feels he know me like I know him. And I used to tell Steve, I said, Steve, whatever you do, be careful out there. That money ain't everything. Because I never valued money. I just never, my main problem, and I don't call it a problem. My main thought was, I don't like money. And I have the soul, and I always say I have the soul of a monk. I don't know if you know the life of a monk, but they're very simple. And sometimes I've heard monks don't even have pockets. They don't carry money. So my thought pattern is I'm a very wealthy person because my spirit has that monk mentality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and like the billionaire who just passed away, he actually stayed in a trailer park. And he had Amazon gave him $1.3 billion. And he still lived in, he's an Asian dude. Oh, man, I can't remember. Danny, that wasn't there. Tony. His name was Tony. Tony something. He just passed. But my career has been amazing. And that's what, I have to restart it, though, because with I got so lazy, Vince, and I had been doing it for, 30 years? And this was my thought pattern. And my thought pattern was I gave for 30 years. I mean, from Chinese restaurants to the Essence with 65,000 people. I've done that 4 times. And my thought pattern was, after 30 years, I was supposed to spend some time with AJ Jamal. And I said, you know what? I should do, but I don't do like the Instagram and YouTube and all. I don't do the social media, even though I should, because people say, you got fans. I go, my 6 fans don't. I mean, they'll be cool. But then my thought pattern was, I spent so much time making people happy, and it was good. So right now, the time I said I was going to spend the later years of my life, I was going to spend it with AJ Jamal. If AJ Jamal wants to go to the movie, I take him to the movie. If he wants to go to the park, I take him to the park. Like a little puppy, I take him with and so his spirit now is so happy because he gets to spend time with me. I don't do all that stuff for the people as I did when I was trying to do my career for 30 years. I spend time with me, and I thought that was the blessed way to do it. Now, with that being said, with the pandemic and everything going on, my retirement gig working on shifts is now not out there. Mm-hmm. So the CDC done shut down the shifts, so I can't make no extra cash. So I'm saying, AJ, you better get back on that social media. You better start doing skits. You better start doing something. So I just finished shooting the show right before you called me. I shot a Christmas special. It was a 10-minute, and I got my green screen. I got a studio set up in my house. So I'm gonna start getting back out there. If I do have any fans, I'm gonna start putting some product out. And Vince, what's bad? I sit down and watch YouTube. I watch TikTok. I watch Instagram. I actually watch it like I've never been in the business in my life, and I'm so entertained by the hard work and the creativity that these people put into these content, these videos that they make. I sit there and go, Jamal, you sit there and watch everybody's video like you don't do comedy, like you don't even know the game. Why don't you put some stuff out there? Somebody might want to see what you do. And so I go, okay. So I have uploaded my first concert I ever did. I haven't told nobody where to find it at. It was called Off Broadway, Little Rock, Arkansas. And I uploaded segments of that. And in case people just in their journey go, let me see if I can find this dude. I'm going to start uploading like Don't Be a Menace to South Central. I'm going to start uploading stuff, man. So in case somebody do what I love to do, and that's watch, because I don't watch TV that much, I'm going to sit down and start uploading some videos in case they want to see. My 7 fans would like to see what I'm doing, but I'm so old school, man. I don't know how to work half that stuff.
Are you
so
familiar?
That being said, to answer your question, my life is amazing.
Okay. Well, and I really appreciate you sharing that, because I can't tell you how many people have asked me, Jamal, AJ knows Steve Harvey. How come Steve Harvey don't hook him up? And perhaps it's not one of those situations where he even needs to hook you up, because it's not about fame and fortune. It's about being happy with yourself and where you are.
Right. I sat there and I sometimes I'll ask myself that, but I know Steve and I was the best of friends. And this is what I used to tell Steve, do not get caught up in that fame and fortune. But the one thing, I was sitting at a thing with George Wallace and a guy named Earl Turner out here in Vegas. We were sitting at a table and another dude who we lost. And we were sitting there, and they were telling me, did you hear about what happened to Steve? I go, no. I said, man, y'all can't believe everything happened to Steve. I always take up for him. I may talk bad about him, but I take up for him if somebody's talking about him, because he's like a brother to me. So I said, that ain't happened to Steve. That's just rumor. They said, no, man, this is this and this is that. So I said, let me text him and see what's going on. And they said, oh, like he going to just text you. I go, what do you mean? And they said, go ahead and text him. He ain't going to talk to you. He going through it right now. I said, wait a minute. I didn't understand what they were talking about. So I text Steve, and I said, I heard some stuff is going on about you, and you update me. And I text him, right? And I told George and all of them, I said, watch. He going to text me back in 4 minutes. And in 3 minutes, I get a text. I said, wow, he's faster than I thought. And I pick up and it's him. He's texting me back. He said, don't believe what you hear. I'm doing great, and blah, 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 blah. The one thing about him, he may be millions and millions of dollars rich. I know him from the Cleveland Church of Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I know Steve. Now, when they talk about the Steve Harvey that they think, it may not be the same Steve, because, I don't want to, I'm not saying it in a negative light, but when you have 100 million, Vince, some people it changed. It 99.9% of people it changed. Because the reason I say that is, if a person has a heart like you, me, and some people I know, they probably would never have a 100 million. You know why? Because once they get to like 4 or 5 million, they start giving it away to people who need it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
They wouldn't sit there and try to collect money. Like somebody like my wife is the same way that I am. If I hit the lottery, I go, honey, if we hit the lottery, what's the first thing you do? You know, she said, I'll buy a place for the homeless people. I'm going, wait a minute. You know, they homeless. They won't be homeless no more. She said, well, I don't want them to be homeless. And so my thought pattern is, if I was to win the lottery like 50 million, my first thought is, who can I give money to that needs it? That's my first thought. Who needs money? Because I don't need money, man. Please.
Okay,
I'm
well,
so happy now.
Since you're making the offer, I could use a few extra zeros.
I know how your spirit is, Vince. You don't care about no money.
You're right. You're right.
Wait a minute. What was our band called? Love, Life, and Light. That was what we were. Do people know you actually a star on stage? Do they know that you do more than shoot that camera?
Well,
we know, Love, Life, and Life. This is a talent that's on stage.
You know, they know that I do more than one thing, but they have no idea of all the things that I do because I don't tell everybody. But I am very pleased to tell folks what AJ Jamal is doing, and that's why we're doing the show right now. You're listening to Open Door with Vince Robinson and my special guest, AJ Jamal. We go way, way back. Long time ago. I just realized today that I've been out of college for 40 years. I graduated in 1980. It's a long time ago.
Wait a minute, Vince. Vince, don't say that. You've been out of college for 40 years?
Years. I graduated from high school 45 years ago. It's amazing, man. Time goes by when you're having fun. That's exactly what's happening right now. We'll be right back on Open Door with Vince Robinson and our special guest, AJ Jamal, right here on 95.9 FM WOVU. We'll be right back.
Crazy T, what are you doing?
What you mean?
Why are you about to throw that out the window?
I'm saying I'm done with it. I didn't want to junk your car up. I was looking out for you.
No, I'm sure we'll make it stop. You could throw it out of a trash can or something. Wait, I got a little bag I usually keep, right here.
I'm saying, is it that big a deal? The window's right here.
Of course. This is our community. We live here. This is our community.
I know. You're right.
Why would you want to junk up our own community?
I ain't know you was going to get all, whatever, civil rights on it or whatever. You're right. My bad. I didn't know.
You should be in the uproar yourself, too, when you see people do it.
You know what? I'm going to do better, because, this is my community. I got to live here. You're right.
We all need to do better. Don't litter.
Littering is a serious offense, punishable by fines up to $500 and or 60 days in jail.
Don't litter. This is your community.
Brought to you by WOVU 95.9 BBC Community Radio. Our voices united.
First we came online, then we got on the air. 95.9 coming in crystal clear. Talk shows and great music for your listening ear. Getting better and better, yes, year after year. We got a new website that sizzles and pops. And now the app has dropped. The WOVU mobile app is here. Our voices are now united across all digital platforms. The WOVU app is available for both iPhone and Android. Need an easy way to get it? Just head to our website, WOVU.org, and click the direct link to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell strangers, everyone you see on the street to head over to WOVU.org and download our mobile app. Listening to 95.9 FM anytime, anywhere is easier than ever. Just tap the app. You can never go wrong when you tap our app. WOVU, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Open Door Cleveland looks at the lives of people here and abroad, navigating the realms of art, culture, and society. I'm Vince Robinson. Tune in for inspired conversation with an array of guests and subject matter experts right here on 95.9 FM WOVU, Monday mornings at 11. Stream us live at WOVU.org or enjoy us live by purchasing the WOVU app from your favorite app store. Open Door Cleveland, Monday mornings at 11 on 95.9 FM WOVU, a Burton Bell Car community radio station. We're back with comedian A.J. Jamal. I wanted to ask you before we took the break if you ever have heard of Clayton Thomas. Do you know Clayton?
Man, me and Clayton. What? Oh no, that's Clayton Harris. I was about to say the guy who sung in it. I've heard of Clayton Thomas. Well, I don't know where I've heard of him from, but I sung in a singing group when I was young with a guy named Clayton Thomas and Calvin Cook and myself.
Okay.
And we used to be like, but Clayton Thomas, let me see where I know that. He didn't go to Collingwood and run the hurdle.
No. Clayton Thomas is from Detroit, and he came out to L.A. to become a comedian, and he had an agreement with his mother, and the mother said, if you're not on TV by December, you need to bring your behind back to Detroit. So long story short, he ended up being on television that December, and he stayed. But what impresses me about Clayton is that he has been creating content, and pre-COVID, he was doing these skits. He was taping stuff around his apartment building on the streets around him, and he was collaborating with other comics, and they started doing the same thing. So now him and Tyree, Spivey, and some guy named BT, and a whole bunch of other comics have created this new web of content on YouTube. So, I stopped watching episodic television a couple years ago.
Right.
I disconnected my cable, but then I get on YouTube and I start watching these skits that these brothers and sisters are doing. So when COVID shut things down, then he started doing these game shows. So
that's hilarious.
He has a show now where it's kind of like the ghetto American Idol. People come on and he's got 4 or 5 people that are judging them, and he says you can't be a singer, you got to be a singer. You got to sing. So people get on, and if they get through singing the whole song, then they get judged, and then they pick a winner at the end of the evening. But it's just so amazing what people are doing in terms of creating content. So you don't need that studio deal anymore. And what made me think about them was thinking about you, because I know how you used to work on doing films and whatnot. And now they're moving things from the 20-minute skit to a half hour to a 45 to an hour-long film.
Right.
So
it's interesting. You're absolutely right. There's some make sure you text me, because I forget so quick. Okay. I'm still getting over 40 years from college. Anyway, make sure you text me. Clayton, it's Clayton Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm. CT,
because, like
sure.
I said, what's it called? CT?
Yeah, he calls himself CT. CT
I'm going to Google him.
Okay.
CT all day. I'm going to Google him because, like I said, you hit it right on the head. These people are so entertaining, and they have so creative, the creative minds you wouldn't believe. And now, back when I was doing it many years ago, you needed an agent, you needed Hollywood, you needed a rep, you needed a PR. Now you don't need that. These people, I'm hearing about people, I forgot the word, influential Twitter, or, famous YouTube person dies, or a famous Twitter. I'm talking about a famous YouTube person, a famous Twitter. They people, there's he's under 10, he makes over $3 million. Do you hear what I'm saying? He's under 10.
Yes.
He has his own show. He makes over $3 million a year doing YouTube. Now, from what I heard, now that I'm trying to get in the game, YouTube don't pay like they used to.
Right.
Now, they figure everybody getting rich, they could keep more money, and that's what they're doing. They're keeping more money. But I'm still, I have some skits I do, man. I have, I got some stuff I'm going to come out with.
Yeah. Hopefully,
I don't procrastinate. Vince, if you knew how much money I spent to do some content, I've spent a lot of money. Like I said, I just shot the Christmas thing. I'm going to go edit that right now, and I'm going to send it to them, make my little coins. But then I'm going to start shooting some of my skits. I'm going to have to include you in some of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the content creation business now. I have some digital SLRs that shoot 4K video. I'm lights, camera, action. I have a performance venue on Larchmere here in Cleveland. As a matter of fact, your brother Floyd cleaned my carpet the last time it got cleaned.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I talked to, what's so funny, I always called him my favorite brother, Floyd. And Nami Eche, he was really my favorite. But I always say Floyd was my favorite brother. But that is so interesting. He's still doing it then. How long ago was that?
It was last year.
Last year. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm a text Floyd and tell him I was talking with you and ask him how he's doing. I love Floyd, man. That, I gotta stay more in touch with people, man.
And tell Floyd I still got that $20 for him.
Oh, that's hilarious. I tell him that, and I probably know what you mean. I'm gonna tell him that.
Yeah, it was funny, man. We were in the building. I was moving stuff around so he could clean the carpet and everything. And I don't know how we ended up talking about the fact that you two were brothers, but he couldn't believe it. But I was like, he used to have a house over on Burgess because I ride past that house every once in a while when I'm going to the east side of Cleveland. But it's like, that's my brother, and your brother Namieche, Namieche, he's been by my house a few times. As a matter of fact, you may not know this, but at one point, your brother was performing with me at a club in Cleveland called Robin's Nest. He
told me about that.
We were doing spoken word shows, and he would come in and sit in, and Councilman Kevin Conwell, he was my drummer. So I had him. I had Derek James playing bass for me, and we did those shows. But I've seen your brother Namieche a few times over here, and our brother Okanta was just here at my house 2 hours ago because we taped a program.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we taped a program for Cleveland State University. You don't know about me and Okanta. Your brother Okanta has taken me to Africa 3 times. I went with him to document his study abroad program that he created with Dr. David Whitaker here in Cleveland. So in 2016, I was on a plane with Okanta and Dr. Whitaker, and we went to Ghana and spent 3 weeks over there, and then went back in 2017, and then went back again in 2019, and now we can't wait to get back there in 2021.
I'm glad to hear that, man. You know why? I was vibing on Okante 2 days ago. It was just, for some reason, I said, let me play, just to get in the spirit, let me play some Gil Scott-Heron. I played Winter in America, and we almost lost Detroit. And for some reason, in the little comments on YouTube, I put, if it wasn't, people was putting nice stuff about Gil Scott-Heron. I put, if it wasn't for Gil Scott-Heron and Okante, the spoken word person, I said I wouldn't have made it through college because it was their energy and their spirit that made me get through the European stuff I was dealing with. So I would have to step away and listen. And, we were roommates at Kent. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know we were roommates. Wait a minute. You did not know I walked into the house one day and Nikki Giovanni and Gwendolyn Brooks who was that name? That's Gwendolyn, right?
Yes, Gwendolyn Brooks.
Yeah, it was Gwendolyn Brooks. Was sitting on my couch.
What?
Was Vince. They were sitting on my couch.
Wow.
And then, wait a minute. I'm trying to make sure. Is it Gwendolyn? Who wrote, We Real Cool, We Die Soon, We Walk Straight, We Die.
That's Gwendolyn Brooks.
That is Gwendolyn Brooks. Because I walked into the kitchen. I go, Okante, that looked like the poet, Gwendolyn Brooks. And he looked at me like nothing. Like it was like just normal. I'm saying, is that? He said, yeah, why? I go, are you serious? And that's when I realized he was a heavyweight. Man, but that kind of stuff what kept me going on Kent State. But now I'm getting mad. Y'all went to Africa. He didn't even call his roommate.
3 times, bro. 3
to take
times.
me to Africa.
Yes.
That's good to hear that, man. I'm gonna text him tonight. I'm gonna text him tomorrow.
Hold up. Me and Okanta are musical acquaintances. I'm his music director. So we've been doing gigs for years, man.
Well, I knew that. I knew y'all performed. Remember? Wait a minute. Do you remember? And I got in trouble with my mama for that, but I sat there and said, Okanta and Vince are going to be performing at Kent State doing something. So my mama said, I don't care who performing, you got to take me to the grocery store. So I know my mama, when I take her to the grocery store, it could be at like 9 o'clock and we won't leave the grocery store. She's shopping like a crack addict just want a shopping spree. And she's buying like 5 cakes and sweets and stuff. So I said, you know what, before I go to this grocery store with my mama, so I said, Mama, you go ahead in your dress. I'm going to make a quick run. I ran all the way. I drove all the way up to Kent State to see y'all perform.
Wow.
And y'all were on stage. And I told her, I think that was the last time I seen y'all. It was at Kent State. And it was like, I just came up here. I got to jet back home and take my mama to the grocery store.
I remember what it was. We were at Lock 3 in Akron. We were playing in the African American Cultural Festival.
That's where it was at. It was in Akron because I had to go downtown Akron somewhere. And it was because they got one-way streets like crazy. That's where y'all were at. And that's exactly where y'all were performing at. And I came to that show just to see y'all, man.
Yeah. And it was real.
My mama pissed at y'all.
It was real brief because I saw you for a minute. We connected, and then I made a move, and I came back, and you were gone. And I'm like, dag, I missed it. You know.
Right. Well, now you know why I was gone.
Wow.
I had to take my mama grocery shopping.
That is amazing.
I drove an hour to take my
amazing.
mama grocery shopping.
Yeah.
That's it. But so my goodness. I think I got a contact info, but I got to text him, man. But yeah, we stayed in a place called Silver Lake. I think that was up. Silver Lake up in Kent. Yeah, when he stayed out there, I was his roommate.
Yeah. Well, I used to visit him there. I mean, Okanta was the person who turned me on to jazz.
Right.
So, we'd be sitting up there, listening to Arthur Blythe and John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins and all of that. And then
now did you remind me? That's where I got my jazz from, was from him.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Okanta did this for me. One, he told me, brother, you are a poet. So he woke that part of me up, and it stuck with me. The other thing that he did was he hooked me up with jazz. And then the third major thing that he did was he planted the seed of, bruh, you need to go to Africa. And not only did he plant that seed, he made it possible. I went to Africa in 1981, and then I went back in 1984, but it was Northeast Africa, Israel specifically. And I didn't get back to Africa until 1992 when I went to shoot a documentary for Wilberforce. I always wanted to go to West Africa. And when Okanta asked me if I wanted to go to West Africa, Ghana, I said absolutely. So whatever it took for me to get there, I did it. And then last year,
wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I went to Africa and I spent 3 weeks in Ghana. I came back to the States, and then I ended up in Egypt for 2 weeks with Dr. Renoko Rashidi, and another week in the Sudan with Dr. Renoko Rashidi. It was about this time last year that I finished up all those travels. So I went to Ghana, I went to Egypt, I went to Sudan, I came back home, and then I got on a plane, went to the Dominican Republic for a vacation, and I just laid on the beach for a whole week and tried to forget what it was like to be a tourist.
Wow. Now let me ask you one quick question, Ben.
Okay.
All those places you went, you never brought home a wife? Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, we need to keep going. And then, unfortunately, we're out of time.
That's hilarious. You didn't bring me back to Africa.
I didn't bring back.
Unfortunately, we out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time, man. I'm looking at 13:37 on the clock. We got to wrap it up there, and we could talk about this offline. I got to tell you, brother, it was really a joy to connect with you. I'm sure the Cleveland listening audience is going to look forward to this conversation, and I'm going to post it on YouTube, so there will be an AJ Jamal podcast.
My wife just walked into the room, Vince. We really have to end it. I'm about to get beat up.
I know.
I'm about to get beat up.
I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to let you go. And thank you for joining me. And thank the listening audience for tuning in to another edition of Open Door right here on 95.9 FM WOVU. You can find this and other episodes of Open Door on my YouTube channel by putting Open Door with Vince Robinson in the search window. Be sure to subscribe for notifications and click that like button. If you like what you heard today, leave a comment. You can also find me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram as vince.robinson. Be on the lookout for part 2 of my interview with Cleveland songstress Shirley Cook coming your way soon. Until then, know yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and make today your best day. Peace.